You're listening to You Know That Podcast in association with That United Family.
Call your celebrity, YouTube celebrity guest. That's what I'm going with.
Just one of you guys. That's all I am. I'm literally just one of you.
No, we welcome Smiv from Smivadee and Palmer's FC. How's it going, mate? You alright?
Good, mate. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, sound, mate. Yeah, I can't complain. Run off me feet, cause about 1 million kids, as everyone knows, 4 fucking little kids running around like absolute nut jobs. But no, I'm good. Thanks for coming on, mate. It's a pleasure to have you.
All right.
And we welcome regulars back. Obviously, Nick from Nick Dennin and Mr. Exclusive, aka John, Duty to Entertain. And God knows what else, mate. He's got about 1 million names. It is what it is. How are you boys? Are you all right? Yeah.
Good, man. About yourself?
Yeah, like I said, mate, kids and that, and it's just fucking family stuff. And I've recorded about 400 videos today, which is a nightmare. 1 for Full Time Devils, 1 for myself, and obviously doing this one now. So 3. I'm just rounding it up to the nearest 400. Right, as Smiv's on, we'll talk about Smiv and what he does. So if anyone doesn't know who Smiv is, Smiv does YouTube. Founded one of the first YouTube football teams, if I stand corrected. One of the very start, called Palmer's FC, which I used to watch when I was I wouldn't say a kid, because I'm 29. If you can hear Rocco screaming upstairs, by the way, apologies. Yeah, what am I now? 29. So I must have been early 20s, I reckon, when I started watching Palmer's. And it's a good crack, mate. So obviously, and you got your own channel, Smivadee on the road. Yeah, back again. I had to get it in there.
That's the one.
Was that all right?
That was spot on. I was just about to say, for a Northerner, that was like the tone,
mate,
everything.
I tell you what. You say that. I'm actually from Dorset, mate, down south.
Well, you got a little bit of a twang, but yeah, I can see. Yeah, no, that was good.
I lived in Stockport now for coming up 3 years now, so hence why they've probably got a bit of a northern in me.
How come you moved up there?
Mate, just because, right? United, basically, if I'm honest.
Everyone was ribbing you for being a Southern United fan, so you thought, you know what, I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah, I'll uproot my old family and fucking just move to Stockport.
Yeah.
Mate, it's mad though, because I come up here. Obviously, I live in Stockport. Nick lives in, people who don't know it, and Smith. Nick lives in Salisbury, and John lives in Oldham, who's probably the only proper Northerner here, to be fair.
I was born down in Dulwich, so was not let that go.
Right, fuck it. I'm gonna call it That Southern Podcast from now on. Okay. No, but yeah, I just moved up here because, one, obviously my whole family and the missus and the kids and that, massive United fans and stuff. And yeah, it's just, we always wanted to get to games. I'm now a season ticket holder at United, spending fucking hundreds of thousands of pounds a year on that. So, mad, mate.
I like Manchester. I've been a couple of times. It's nice. It's like a mini London. It's like, I grew up assuming that Manchester was going to be big. It's actually not that big at all. No, I think Man United made it feel like it was a huge place, but it's a good little place. I like it.
The city's mint, mate. City centre and that is not, like you say, not that big. Obviously, I think they made it bigger a few years back when they started calling it Greater Manchester. So you had your Oldhams, your Stockports, Rochdale, Bolton, and God knows where else. It's all Greater Manchester. They all sort of cover it under the Manchester tag, but they're not. They're fucking miles away. But yeah, so Smith does on the road videos. If you don't know, check them out. It's a fucking cracking idea. Basically, your life, Smith, is go to football matches at the weekend.
Pretty much, not bad, is it?
No, mate. And do you know what? Right, if I said to my missus, right, love, I'm going to start doing YouTube, and what I'm going to do is just go to away games all the time, I'd probably get killed, mate. I'd probably be like, no, you're not doing that. So what? And how the fucking hell do you get away with that?
Luckily I've got a very good missus who sort of sees what I do, and it's been that since day one. We've been together 14 years now. Wife, kid, she's very understanding of what I do. She's been very supportive as well. Luckily, when I started this, I was living at home with my dad, so there was no mortgage, no bills or anything. And when it did start to take off, that's when I put the pressure on myself to say, you know what, let's move out, let's live together, let's test this relationship and go from there. And it's always been, this is what I do. And before I did this, I was a video producer. So I've always been freelance. I've never had a stable wage. So it's always been a risk. And I've never had the, that comfort of at the end of each month, there's going to be a nice wage at the end of it, or a not so nice wage for certain people, and that has been for a long time for me, and it still is, to be fair. It's like a lot of people look at these numbers that you see, there's not that much money in it until you get to the big numbers that you see from like your top tier. So it's still a struggle, but she's got a good job. She supports us, and it allows me to be free to, just be a bit more adaptable. And weekends is my one to go away on a Saturday, and I call it work. She won't. But yeah, it is essentially, it's how I earn my money. So I'll go to a random game. I'll pick it on a Thursday or Friday. Me and Charlie will rock up and just film the experience, really. And we don't really want to do it in a way that disturbs anyone. You know what I mean? So we could go United, for example, and I think a lot of people that in this football vlogging scene are very tempted to get their camera out and do this and this and this. And I personally don't feel comfortable doing that. Just in public in general, I'm not as confident as a lot of people think. So for me to whack out a camera in public and just start filming and talking to myself, that's the reason why I do a commentary, because it allows me to do it very subtly, just film what I need to film, sod off. No one's affected. No one's like, get out, you ain't a real football fan. All this jazz, we'll hear about football bloggers and how bad they are and not live in the moment and stuff. So I'll just go and get me stuff. I'll come home and then I'll look back at the footage and then I'll start to tell a story. It's not really about the game. It's more about the characters that are there and the behind the scenes and what's going on. Yeah, there's the game is the narrative and what happened on the day, but essentially my job is to just tell the alternative story of the day and rate the experience, really, because I've got a lot of American viewers, a lot of people from overseas, and they're absolutely fascinated by the English game and how it kind of like, a lot of people home in and watch what we do. The Premier League is a massive league, but people, even the Championship and down to League 1 and 2, people want to come and watch that from abroad. So doing this and showing the other side of it, not just what the gantry shows, showing a fan side of things, and it's sort of setting up like a catalogue for someone to come over. There's been a lot of viewers that have come over for me and gone, oh, I went to Tunbridge Angels the other week because they were top of your rated table. Yeah, the burgers were banging. Like, and it's mad that you've done that for someone, and that club has actually earned a little bit of cash on the side as well out of your review, as you like to call it. But no, man, it's good. I just like experiencing different grounds, because every single ground's different. Every single fan of those clubs are different. You never know what you're going to get. So, and they could be in exactly the same area. Every club is run differently, and luckily every club has been very welcoming so far as well. So it's long may it continue.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, the way you do the videos, like you say, with your commentary instead of literally vlogging it, it's a different spin on what you see from other, like, I wouldn't say fan channel. I wouldn't say you're a fan channel. You're more a fan of football channel instead of a club-based fan channel, which is good. Obviously, John, you do, obviously on your channel, you do, obviously Smith alluded to not being the most confident person in, just getting your camera out and talking shit in front of potentially thousands of people. Like, obviously, I used to do it. I've done a few match day vlogs at Old Trafford, and like Smith, it's that, like, usually I used to shoot. I did one with Nick. Remember when we did? I was there with you. I cannot fucking remember what game it was, but we stood outside the statue, outside the mega store. There's thousands of people there, and I was like, "This is dead awkward." This, and I sort of get where Smith's coming from. John, do you feel that sort of like, not embarrassment, but a bit uncomfortable when you're doing your vlogs?
100%, because you're trying to concentrate on what you're doing while there is thousands of people walking around your vicinity, while you're trying to concentrate on what you're trying to say without walking in front of someone's pictures or knocking someone's kid over or turning around knocking an old person over. Like, all these sort of attributes happen, where I kind of don't even make a coherent sentence for like 3 minutes of my video while I'm trying to get to a place where it's not so crowded. But once I've done it, I'm not really too bothered, because I think it's not about being embarrassed, but I'm cataloguing it. Like, I watched obviously Smith's video, and it's not obviously his category of cataloguing at all. Like, obviously, like where I saw parts of where he's talking about all women walking past on the with the dogs and stuff like that, which I think's interesting, which I don't do, which I probably could do if I like go past people. But in the sense, I'd just rather do something on the day and then it's done and dusted. By the end of it, like I'm probably too emotional to actually, because obviously it is for my team that I love. So something where it wouldn't be as rational, where I'd go to say go and watch Oldham Athletic play, I could be more rational and go, well, that's this, and this. It would be more about football. When it comes to going and watching my team, it's more about pride in it. So it's a bit of a difference, I guess.
Of course it is. Yeah, like Nick, obviously you've done actually bits for the channel for That United Family. So where did you do the aways, and you do some match days, sort of vlog in for the away days, don't you? Because obviously I can't get to them at the minute. One, because kids. Two, cause money, and three, cause not allowed away tickets from United at the minute. So for no apparent reason, by the way, I'm just not allowed to ballot for aways. I'm not had a missing ticket that long. Do you feel anything like sort of you're the kind of person, aren't you, where you don't give a toss, like you'll do whatever?
Yeah, I don't know, but I did notice that at Wolves, when I was trying to do the commentary, I remember people just would be looking at me, and it would make me feel uncomfortable. And I remember even one of my, especially because you're there with, you're normally there with people, and I'd tell them, I go, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? And that's what you could hear in the corner of the video. But yeah, the videos look fantastic in that as well. Like, you don't, a lot of stuff, I've been lucky enough to go to so many different grounds with United, but I always loved the smaller grounds. Like this year, Tranmere. Best one I've been to, because you go to different places that, and always the fans are always really welcoming as well from like the smaller clubs, because they don't really get, do you know what I mean? They don't really get the spotlight that the Premier League, that the Premier League teams do, and so like it's a lot different, isn't it? Like the smaller smaller game days, aren't they? Like Old Trafford's a bit touristy now, isn't it? Like big stadiums,
it's horrendous, yeah.
Touristy, isn't it? And like, so the proper football days, are these small grounds, aren't they? Amount of times you've been to a small ground, 12 o'clock, couple of beers in your hand, that's like the proper English football experience, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, obviously Smith will find this out soon when Tottenham obviously start winning trophies again. Get that in there quickly. Sorry, mate.
It'll be a while, mate.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, but like obviously you got this brand new ground now, and like, I've not actually watched the on the road at Spurs yet. I've not done that because I'm addicted to the non-league, mate. I come from a place, right, where Weymouth is not. By the way, if you ever go that far down south, mate, Weymouth is a good ground to go to. They pull in decent numbers for non-league. Like it's proper non-league. Like the ground is dead old, right? They've got a massive grandstand that's full up usually. Like it's literally up like 3 flights of stairs, one stand that's massive, and the rest of it's terraced. You all stand around it and stuff. They get like 3,000-4,000 people there each week. Actually, I might be telling a lie there. It might be like maybe 2.5, and more of that about every week. What are they now? They're second in the one below conference South. They're second there, so they're about to go up now, and they've got a link with Premier League club Bournemouth. So they get Mark Mosley's the manager. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mark Mosley. He played for like Bournemouth in the Premier League, or not in the Premier League, in the Championship and stuff like that. Decent manager, and I think he's actually a youth coach there. And it basically got a link with Bournemouth. They drag in loads of players, and I used to like going to Weymouth. Do you know what I mean? And now because I live in Stockport, I go to County a lot as well, who obviously are in the conference, and that's another good ground to go to if like you like your away days and stuff. And obviously, Smith, if it comes this far up north again, County's another good one. They do decent. I mean, they're 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people sometimes, and they're just a place off the playoffs in the first season of the conference. So I see what Smith said, like people watch the On the Road series because they get to see what non-league's like. And I'm obsessed with it, mate. I'll go watch Salford. If United are away, I'll try and go watch Salford. I'll go to County. I'll go up to, I want to try and get up to like Ramsbottom and all that up the road here, just because it's like proper non-league football and I love it. Do you get too many Spurs games in Smith, like on the weekday? Because like, how many of these on the road videos do you do? Do you just literally do one at the weekend, or is it like if there's one in midweek, you'll piss off to that and go and watch that and record it? Or
yeah, I mean, what I find is to have the channel keep ticking over. It's good to upload at least once a week, and people have come to realise that every Monday at 5 there's going to be something there. So, which is great because even if people aren't subscribed, they'll still come along and watch. So they've sort of got this sort of loose schedule in their mind that on Monday Smith's going to upload on the road. If I can't get to a game on a Saturday, I'll normally think ahead and go midweek, like on a Tuesday night, to to a non-league game. And sometimes if I can't get to a game on the weekend, I'll try and bash out. Well, if I've got in a week or two where I know I can't get out, I'll try and get a Tuesday and a Saturday in the same week. So at least I've got 2 videos done. In that week that I don't go, I've got something to put up still. So yeah, I mean, but I do, like you say, I do like the non-league more. People do complain a lot about it. They're like, "Oh, just go Premier League. We want to see Premier League." It's like, well, do you know what? No, because it's just too much coverage. And to be honest, like where did we go the other night? Palace. There's a lot of pressure. The way I rate it anyway, there's a lot of pressure for a big team to do well in my series because it's expensive. That's the first thing. And what did we pay? I can't remember what we paid, but we ended up spending a lot to go Palace. But I was excited though because I've heard a lot about Palace. And when I went to the Tottenham on the road that you may or may not watching a bit, we played Palace. That was the first game at the new stadium, first competitive league game.
Yeah.
And they were rocking. They were like, they're away fans. But then I'd argue that most away fans are pretty good when they come into a big ground like that. They're excited. They want to ruin the day, and they were good.
Endorsed that.
You hear it about Palace a lot though. They've got these like ultra fans. So we were buzzing to go. Southampton just completely ripped them apart basically and killed the atmosphere. So yeah, a lot of it comes down to the game and dictates the atmosphere, and then the rating on that is can be high or low. And then if the cost is a lot, which it normally is in the Premier League, then they're not going to do very well, unfortunately. But non-league has got the opportunity to just completely shine because A, it's cheap. B, the atmosphere can be good if there's enough fans like a Weymouth there. If they're getting 3,000 or 4,000 through and it's a good game and it's buzzing, you're thinking, wait, you know, I've spent like a tenner to get in. I've had a couple of beers for cheap. It's proper rocking. Like, this is football. Like, this is what it should be. And they talk about, like, with all the money in the game now, that the game's gone and VAR coming in and stuff like that. It's just, football's not where it used to be. Well, my argument is if you still want to watch proper football, just go non-league. You save yourself a ton of money and you'll have a proper laugh as well. So that's why I'm a massive advocate for non-league. And the videos tend to do quite well as well because, as you say, like there's not a lot of limelight on it. So for me to upload, I don't know, Crystal Palace, which got, I don't know, I think it's like 80,000 views. I uploaded one to Enfield, 80,000 views, because behind that there's actual community, and behind that community is the town, and whether people like football or not, it's like, oh my god, Enfield, look, this video, this guy went to Enfield and gave us a bit of publicity, and like people just share it around, and people are genuinely interested because they can see their area on video on YouTube, and they're like, oh my god, I've been there, I walked there, that's where I fell over a couple of weeks ago, and da, da, da. Like there's stories and everything behind it. It's not just football, it's like the community behind it. So that's why the non-league ones tend to do quite well. Obviously you've got your extremes, like the Spurs one, which I think I did like 250,000. That was quite good, but it was a new ground and everyone was excited. They wanted to see more about it. So there are ones that do well, but generally it's like around the sort of 60, 70, 80,000 mark. And it doesn't matter whether you're a Premier League team or a non-league team, you're going to get those views on it. And that's what I like about it, really. It doesn't really matter where you go. People are engaged and people want to see a different ground and what they have to offer now. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. Brilliant.
No, I was going to say, your channel does well for views, like subscribers to views, sort of like the ratio there is pretty good. So you're obviously doing a good job and people love what you do. So it's magic, isn't it? Cooking on gas, really. Was you going to say something Nick, a minute ago?
I can't remember what I was going to say. I was going to say about like you talk about the non-league football, but that's how that's how I grew up loving football, because family couldn't afford, dad and 3 kids couldn't afford to take to watch Premier League football every week. So you grew up learning to love, non-league football's what I grew up starting to watch Salisbury, and that's how my love of the game goes. And it's like we're all football fans generally at the end of the day. I could watch non-league football. I could watch Sunday league football, and I'm still going to I watch my mates have a kick around like 5-a-side, and I'd still get, you still get that same buzz, don't you? Because we're fans at the end of the day, aren't we?
Exactly. I was talking about the price of football. Like fucking Old Trafford is getting ridiculous. Like it's a joke, mate. Right? You rock up. What do I pay? I pay $9.80 a year for a ticket for just league games, and then I've got to pay compulsory FA Cup ticket. So every home draw, it's fucking 42 quid. Every Europa League is optional, so you can opt in and out if you want to. And it's usually Champions League in it. Champions League is compulsory when you're in it, and that's another 42 quid. and then League Cup is optional. So I've got to pay for FA Cup tickets. So that probably takes me up to about 1,100 quid. Where what possible worst case scenario, about 1,100 quid. And then the Champions League, I'm looking at I've got to pay for every home game. So that's 3 home games in the group plus a guaranteed if you get out of the group another home game. So we're in the Champions League. You're probably looking at about 1,300 quid, maybe 1,400 quid for my season ticket a year. And then the cheek of it, they want to give me 3 items for £8.50.
The beer's a joke. Little stubby beer for £5.
Stubby Heinekens, £5.50 or whatever they are, mate. Liberties. It's bad, isn't it?
You've got to be lucky.
The thing is, because you're in that ground, there's nowhere else to go. So you're going to get it. You're going to buy the beer in there, aren't you? You can't bring it in. You can't bring your own stuff. So it's just, they've got you, really. That's the same for most grounds. Spurs is the same, but like my season ticket was 1,200 before anything else. That's ridiculous. Like, and then FA Cup's optional if you want the Champions League. They used to do like a package, and this is why I love Spurs, because when we first got in the Champions League, they were like, this has been this is the first time. This has been a while. And they did these packages. So the group games was like, I think it was like 70 quid, and you got all 3 games, and you think buzzing. Wow. Literally this season, as soon as we got into the new ground, it was like 60, 70 quid per game. I ain't gone to any. None at all.
You should have to pay £5 for a little beer. You got your own brewery in there.
Mate, yeah, size of the goal, whatever. Like, I don't care. It's just too expensive. Like, just get me a Dr. Pepper or something like that. One thing I will say is that they've got these pies at Spurs, and normally with a big ground with lots of people, they just rush through food. It's always crap. It's always like overbaked or whatever. Pies at Spurs, they've got this thing called a signature pie. It's like bolognese inside. It's really good. So that is the only thing I would give them props for, is that signature pie. But and the beer's pretty cool. It fills up from the bottom. That's quirky.
Oh, that's
nice.
I've seen them glasses, mate. They look sick, mate.
Yeah.
You're actually going in a couple of weeks, Nick, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to try one of those signature pies. Then 2 weeks, I'm going to do it.
Definitely. Really good. My dad rates sausage rolls. They're massive. So I think for food and drink they're actually they're pretty good at Spurs. But the rest of it, cost-wise, and the atmosphere is dead. So, yeah.
You've got a nice stadium. Makes Old Trafford look tired. The Spurs new stadium makes Old Trafford look knackered. Because it is like the pinnacle of football now. It's got to be up there with one of the best it's got to be one of the best stadiums now in the world, isn't it? Got to be modern.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to look at, but at the end of the day, you want it to be buzzing and rocking in there. And the problem is they've got these. It's a bit like when West Ham went to their grounds. I don't think they use their own security there. I think they hire them in. They're not part of the ground. It's just like an event staff, and they're just like strict, and they don't let you stand up. They don't let you. I think to certain points they don't like you singing as well. So they've got that massive white wall, as they call it, the big south stand, massive tier at the back, which is where all the atmosphere is meant to be driving from. They've got people in there saying, sit down. It's like, not just ruining it. Just like completely ruining it.
United are trying to do something about that now. Have you seen they've moved the family stand, haven't they? It's a bit of a shame for the kids and that. They've pulled it straight out of the Stretford end, haven't they? And put it up in tier 1, which very disappointed kids and that. But they're trying to bring that atmosphere up, aren't they? Have you noticed they've moved the singing section, haven't they? Do it, aren't they? Now they're trying to get the safe standing. Teams are trying to get this up, but it's the problem we got with Old Trafford. It's a tourist attraction.
It is. So what they've done with the family stand is that it used to be by the tunnel. It used to be on the corner by the tunnel. It used to be there. And what they've done now is taken all the kids and shoved them up tier 2, the Stretford end and all that in it. And it's just in the Stretford end, isn't it? Tier 2 is Stretford end.
No. It's the opposite.
Is it in the opposite bit?
It's the north-east quadrant. You're northwest, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Northeast quadrant, or just near the quadrant there. But it's going to there's some disappointed kids in that, but they should have never really had a family stand in the Stretford end. Do you know what I mean? I reckon they should stick them where the away fans are.
Yeah, that would be better. I think they put it there because of the tunnel, though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The kids love it, going down there getting shirts and everything signed and that. And I understand why they put it there, but then you say, obviously, you got to think about. Do you know you have to pay a membership to the United Road to get in the singing section?
What?
Yeah. So the United Road set up this thing to get the atmosphere, but basically a campaign against United and the board and that to get a singing section or get more people in a section where they can make loads of noise. And now it was free last year, and now you have to pay £5 a year.
Wow.
It's just money, mate. It's money everywhere, and that's the problem, isn't it? Obviously, like safe standings going to be a thing, but how long is that going to take? It's fucking. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them, isn't it?
Area, isn't it? They've got to try and do, after Hillsborough and that, they're only going to make sure they're 100% sure and it's 100% safe before they bring that in, won't they? The safe standing.
Rail seat. It will be safe. Rail seating will be safe because obviously it'll be a rail and then a seat. So if you want to sit down, you can sit down. But obviously you're not going to sit down if you're stood in the rail seating section, are you? So.
What was your favourite on the road video? What's the best ground you've been to?
Well, best ground would be Spurs, as in to look at. But the best place was actually a couple of weeks ago at Huddersfield. Really enjoyed that, and that is actually a really nice ground as well. It's unique. Like I've not seen a football ground like that. A lot of them have just got your stands and that, but they've got these like oval shape. It just looked a lot different, and it was a nice woodland setting on the back of it as well. It looked really nice, and the atmosphere was banging as well. Food was good, everything was perfect that day. So yeah, they're top of my ratings. So yeah, really happy with them. But then, sorry, go on.
It's in a weird little place, isn't it? In that little dip, in it, with the woodland. Now you mention it, it is quite scenic, actually.
Yeah, it's nice. I do like Huddersfield. But that people have been asking me to go north for ages. Charlie's missus is from up north, and they were sort of up that way that week. So I was like, I'll come up and meet you, and we'll just go to the game. So that was the first one, and then since then we've done Worksop, which is just north of Nottinghamshire or sort of south of Sheffield. I can't remember. I think I made a mistake in that video because I thought it was in Yorkshire. But it's not. It's Nottinghamshire. That's my bad. I'll say it in the next video anyway. Anywhere above Luton is north to me, so I'm just
Raised some money for Worksop as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So we got they was in a bit of trouble, so they needed to raise 30 grand by the end of Feb. Someone tagged me in a tweet, and I was just like, we could maybe help them here. So the normal thing would be to just shout them out and get people to donate to the Just Giving page, but then you've got to rely on people to do that. But I wanted to be a bit more proactive about it. So I've got a guy that's sort of got lots of different contacts with companies and brands. He's always chucking stuff at me, but I don't like taking too many brand deals because it can be damaging to the channel. But a lot of stuff don't really fit. I just said to him, you got any football-based sponsors that I could put on the road? We'll take a fee and we'll just give it to them to sort of help them out. And he was like, yeah, I've got this Ronaldo.com, which is like a late score app. I said, all right, what are they going to pay? He went, I can give you £1,000. I said, all right, we'll take that £1,000 and we'll give it to Worksop. So there you go, it's all done. But yeah, no, they were well happy. They were buzzing, and they did it in the end. They got the 30 grand, so they're safe for a bit. Just like because I think the chairman from before took them on a bit of a ride. So I think whoever's in charge now is going to have to be a little bit more sensible. But yeah, let's hope they stay right. But the thing is, like, we've got some really good news. So we've got Worksop's safe, brilliant. Within 5 minutes, Tunbridge Angel message, like, and we've been there already, and they were like, yeah, we're struggling. We need like, I don't know how much it was, stupid amounts of money a month, like $6 grand a month we need to make to survive, because I think they've got like this really boggy pitch. So they're actually having to play their games away from the ground, which means the revenue there is completely lost. They've got no revenue coming in from gate receipts and games, even like down to the food and the drink and stuff like that. So they're really struggling. But yeah. So yeah, there's so many football clubs are sort of struggling at the moment. I don't know how it's tough because like you want to help them, but at the same time you have to sort of look at how have they got into that mess. Is it just because of the way it's run? Is it just because the vicinity it's in, the community behind it aren't as into that club? Is it just, I don't know, there's lots of different reasons. You look at Berry, like you feel sorry for them because they were completely just taken on a ride and that was it. And that he was an idiot, wasn't he? Absolute idiot. But
yeah, no, Berry's a sad story, man.
Fans lose on that. I would imagine if I literally live Man United Football Club. I love my club. I love everything. It's just football. Imagine Man United just to like go out of existence. I mean, I'd be devastated. I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to just say, just bought someone else. I couldn't. I physically couldn't.
No, it's like the FA Cup when they were talking about stopping those replays. And that's obviously takes littler teams away from making that money where, in other cases they wouldn't make. Maybe in that sense, if you're a higher team and you are playing a lower team, that lower team has to play at your end first. Maybe it's not to say that you take away the replay, you still do the replay, but to get the most generation of cash, maybe you let the smaller teams play at the higher, clubs just for that possibility of cash to help them out in a season, because they're not guaranteed through a draw to even get that. So
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I think the other way to do it. Sorry, Smith. The other way to do it, you could probably do like, say if it was it's optional. So say if you're Man United and you draw in Yeovil, like we have done a couple of years in a row, away from home or whatever, or at home, you should give the clubs a choice. Like say, right, you two decide amongst yourself, you can do a replay or not if you draw. So just call it. So obviously Yeovil will go, replay every day of the week. And I think that smaller clubs could probably take the priority in that. So right, if they want to replay, you have to do a replay. I don't know what your thoughts are. Maybe you carry on, mate. So I've interrupted.
No, I think the thing that sort of upset me was just all the TV pundits, all the top managers. It was a Premier League thing, I think, but just like all moaning about replays. If that's a problem, then go and beat them. Put out a good team that's going to go and beat them. That's the magic of the cup, like. If you're not beating these smaller sides, then there's a problem there. And the actual problem is you're not playing your team. You're playing your youth. That's the issue. And there's no respect for the cup anymore. Like I remember the FA Cup was like well exciting. It used to be really like, Man United made a song when they got to the cup final. Liverpool made songs when they got to the cup. It was like a big thing. But now it's a cup competition that's just getting in the way. And it's sad really, but. Yeah, if you don't want to replay, play your team. Because obviously on paper, United should be beating your Yeovils, or in this case, a couple of seasons ago. Was it Cambridge that you struggled to get by?
Yeah, Cambridge, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, Cambridge profited out there. They're in a good place now because of just a simple replay, I think it was. So it's just like, they can't get rid of replays. It's not like professional footballers as well, like, deal with it. Like, we've all got to work in factories and have back pains, and they're doing all right. It's not too bad to play a couple of games extra a season. It's not too bad.
It's made out to be a massive thing, isn't it? Oh, the fixture congestion, mate. You're on 200 grand a week. I wish I could fucking play as many games. I'd play 5 games a week for 200 grand a week. Do you know what I mean? I'd do it all. I'm not asked about that. Like this, I'm not bothered about that. It's stupid. But yeah,
the other thing that they should do as well is almost do it similar to the Champions League, where if you're going to play a crap team, let's get your registration forms from round 1 who you're putting in, because if you do progress to the quarterfinals or the semis on youth, you've still got to play those teams. You can't use your Pogbas and your Matters and your top players and your Rashford. You're going to have to show respect to the cup if you want to use them later on. So play them early on. That could be another way of doing it, I guess. But
yeah. We should submit it to the FA and UEFA, FIFA, whoever it is, and get it done. Get petitions sorted. I'm sure Smith can sort that out. Right, should we talk about some local football then? Like obviously Sunday League football is big everywhere in the country, and obviously Smith started one of the first YouTube Sunday League teams, Palmer's, which was mint, by the way. So the first question is how. Today actually, it was actually this afternoon that I scrolled all the way back through Palmer's FC, and I only just realised what the URL says. It actually says Smivadee. The URL still says Smivadee and not Palmer's, which I was pretty wowed at. I don't know why. I was like, it still says Smith. How fun is that? So I went all the way to the bottom, and he started off doing like he did that Nike 5 tournament 10 years ago, by the way, and there's a very young Smith on there.
Yeah.
Which was quite funny. You started off doing your own stuff, didn't it? Like FIFA and accumulator sort of videos and stuff like that. So when did it? So you started introducing Sunday League football, and I see the first Sunday League football got something like 200,000 views, and then you see it. You do go back to FIFA and your accumulator videos, you get 1,000 or 2,000 views, and as soon as a Sunday League football video is like 300,000 views, and like at what point did you go? Do you know what? I'm just going to literally turn this channel into Palmer's FC.
It was a couple of seasons ago, actually. It actually had my face on it, and it was called Smivadee for quite a while, longer than what it was actually branded as Palmer's. But yeah, I was just literally doing what I loved, and that was like a bit of betting here, a bit of FIFA, and playing with my mates on a Sunday. And that was basically the channel. It was my experience of football, and this is how I involve it, and just filming everything. But out of those things, like the betting stuff and the FIFA, it was the Sunday League stuff. It was really took off, and I think that's what resonated with a lot of people. Everyone's played it at one point in their life, and if they weren't playing it at the time, they're going to get back into it because they've been inspired by the videos. Like the amount of messages we got of teams that had sort of risen from the Phoenix was like, oh my god, like do you remember when we did this and do you remember we did that? Like so many teams got back into playing because of us, which was really cool to sort of hear. But just from a branding point of view, I think a lot of people were had the eyeballs on the Palmer stuff. So any new subscribers might have been getting a little bit confused every time a random betting video came up here and there, and then me just screaming at FIFA because, you know, it's broke. But yeah, so in the end, I was just like, let's just go with what's working and really put my all into this. And rebranded it as Palmer's, and then didn't really look back after that. So yeah, I think it was like maybe 2.5, you know, probably 3 seasons in. That's when we sort of made the change.
Yeah, it was
but
good.
Yeah, that's what sort of led me to start this second channel now. I'm glad I did, because obviously when we stopped, I sort of fell back on this, and it's taken a long time to rejuvenate this channel, because I wasn't really putting weekly content out. It was just as and when I did a little bit that wasn't related to Palmer's. But now this one is gaining traction, so I'm glad I had this as a fallback, because I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but it's just there to have. So yeah.
It's like, I suppose you don't think about that when you've got a channel that is doing so well, like with Palmer's before Smith. You sort of don't think it's going to end, do you? Like, you think, it's doing really well, you know, it's doing this and it's doing that. It's getting the sponsors like Kit Locker and that come in, didn't they? And got sorted out loads of kits and stuff. And you started selling all these kits and stuff as merch and stuff. And by the way, some of the Palmer shirts were well nice, especially the ones towards the end. You know, like when it was like the white one, it like faded into like sort of the black bit. Was it the black at the bottom?
Yeah.
That like, you had some top kits and that, and it was absolutely mint. Like the whole Palmer setup was like, obviously it just started with you and your mates, then it like they say, just literally a Sunday League football team, and it obviously took off to something absolutely astronomical. And I think this is where like sort of the whole YouTube sort of football thing, because it's a thing now, isn't it? YouTube football teams are a thing. Like you've got people like Arsenal Fan TV doing it, Stretford Paddock have done it, even like people like Grime Daily, hashtag. Just loads of people have got sort of football teams. Do you feel like you did set a trend, or do you think, or do you not like, are you not like that, or you just think, oh yeah, people are just taking it on as and when, or do you actually think it's not down to you solely, but sort of inspired people to sort of do it more?
Yeah, I mean, the very proud part of me says, yeah, we were the first ones to consistently do it. I mean, there were other people were often quick to shoot you down and say, you weren't the first, because I found this video that was long, like further back from it. But it's not. It's like, it's just a random 4-minute game of someone's free kick. It's not. There's nothing consistent there. There's nothing like, they're not telling a story. Do you know what I mean? It's just random mobile clips of things. So I'd say that we were the ones that consistently did it, and we were like, right, I'm going to do this at the start of the season, lads. I'm going to film you. Don't worry, just play your game, and I'll have a nice little video for you. And that was all it was. And they were buzzing after each game. It was like, I used to get it up same night for them, and we'll put the goals out there. And yeah, it wasn't really getting any views at the start. It was just like a couple of hundred here and there. It was normally us and our opponents, and then other people in the league that were like, oh, we're playing them in a few weeks. We can watch, you know, who the good players are and stuff. But yeah, after that, it just like, I think what kicked it off was literally a kick. So I don't know if you've seen that one. It's called Thug Life. It's like the most viewed one. I think it's sort of approaching 1 million views, which was mad. But yeah, just some kid decided to kick one of our lads in the head. And not just it weren't like an on the floor scrap. It was a couple of shoves here and there. Normally someone might throw a punch. He's got like this, it turns out he was like some Muay Thai kickboxer, and he's just whacked out his kick from nowhere. And he's got sent off, and he walked up to me afterwards. He went, "Are you going to put that in the video?" I went, "Look, mate, I don't have to. If you don't want me to put it in, it's absolutely fine." He went, "No, I want to see it." I'm like, "All right, cool." And that's what literally kicks things off for us, because we had all the memes at the time of Thug Life with the glasses was coming around at that point. So I sort of like did that and put the kick in the thumbnail, and it was just like boom, the Sun took it, Lad Bible took it. It literally just went everywhere, and that's how we sort of grew from that, really. So to a certain degree, we were lucky, but at the same time, it's good that we had a catalogue, because it wasn't just a random clip. It was like, oh wow, so they've got this, but they've got the previous season as well, and they've done all this stuff as well. So it was, people could see that it was a proper thing rather than I don't know, just like the odd clip here and there. So that it did set us up quite well.
I say, because I don't think it's just, and I give you some credit here to big you up a little bit more. Like I don't think it's just the whole fact of it's Sunday League football. I think the way you commentated the games and the way you clip it up, because obviously you did all the editing yourself, didn't you? And the way you produced the video, I know it's your job, but the way you produced your video and like the way you commentate over it, it's just different to anything I've sort of seen like ever, really. Even like you say on your roads thing, it's just, it engages you I don't know how you two feel, Nick and John, but it engages you, and it's like it just makes you want to watch more. And I think that's why obviously Smith's channel's doing so well, and Palmer's blew up. And it's a shame that obviously Palmer's isn't around anymore. I know I sent I made you lot watch some fresh videos, didn't I, today? I was like, watch all these before you come on, because you got to ask some questions. I said, what do you think? I think the whole thing's mint.
Yeah, I was looking at the videos there. Obviously, I hadn't realised myself first time of watching Palmer's and You on Your Road, and it's what sort of like opened my eyes to a different sort of idea to it. It is enjoyable, and your comical notes are just like quite legendary.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do you know what I think? I've taken like. I don't want to sound like I'm sort of turning this like preach to Smith and I. Sorry, mate. I don't mean to like, but like I've taken like because I've got a series with my Mrs. Emma called Educating Pork, right? And it's where we play FIFA basically, right? So we try and get United back to where they're meant to be on FIFA. But she doesn't play FIFA, like she cannot play FIFA. So we're literally starting from afresh. Like the first episode, I literally taught the buttons, right, and then we started playing. But then I take some sort of thing like every time we have a kickoff, I'll shout kickoff and clip it up like that, just from like obviously the Palmer days. And like when you say let's have a kickoff, do you know what I mean? Like it's just inspiring sort of things, and trying not to like copy in the same sort of like way, but it's the way like people take stuff from it. Do you know what I mean? It's good, man.
Yeah.
Fair play to you. Fair play to you. And I thought I'd come up with a cracking idea as well the other day. I sat Emma down the other day. I said, right, I'm going to put 5-10 quid on a betting account, and then do an accumulator each week on the channel and get people involved. And I fucking scrolled down the fucking Smith's channel today and seen fucking betting videos, and I was like, fuck's sake. So I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, it's meant. So I was going to call it building your bets as well, but no, we'll see what happens. I might try it. I don't know.
Just do it, man. Just do it. Like that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people think of these really cool ideas, and then they see actually by doing a little bit of market research, oh, it's a thing. Oh, well, I'm not going to take off. There's no point in me doing it. Well, just do it, because you can improve on what other people have done, and you can look at what other people have done and think, well, I don't like that, and I can do this, and I can bring this to the table. So, and I think that's what happened with the YouTube stuff, because we were just a bunch of lads from Essex, and we were very relatable. We were just you sort of dog and duck Palmer's sort of pub team. But there's other types of teams out there. Like I said, you've got these youth coming through now that are very skillful, very technical, and they want to bring that side of the game. So, and there's a whole market for that. That people aren't going to look up to us. We're having fags at half time, or cigarettes, as you call it out there. Like we just normal bunch of guys. Like we have guys getting drunk the night before and still coming home. They're not quite sober, and they're going on and scoring a couple of goals. That was us, all right? That's just your normal pub team sort of thing. But like I say, there's other proper teams out there now that are playing at semi-pro level and coming to play on Sundays to make a name for themselves as well. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not us. But there is a market for it, and we weren't the ones that captured them. We were probably the ones that were being told, oh, don't do this because people look up to you. It's like, well, we can't be anything else other than ourselves, and we're not going to change. And I think that is one of the reasons we never really, that is one of the reasons we took off, but I don't think we made it over the hill. You know what I mean?
Because hashtag are big for that, aren't they? Hashtag have gone sort of
very
like...
big. Yeah, they're very clean, very proper. But now, I mean, they're showing what non-league football is about, and you do see there's aggressive sides to it, and there are a lot of shouts at half time and whatnot. So they've opened up the eyes to what it can be like. But during their time when they were sort of doing things at the same time as us, when they weren't actually a football team, they were just doing their sort of their FIFA League thing. They were very clean, very smart about things, and they did the right thing because they attracted the right brands who paid for American tours with Coca-Cola and doing all these bits and pieces. So they're not done. They knew what they were doing, and it's very good. It's just a shame that, I mean, I look at that and I go, oh, I wish we could have played at Wembley. I wish we could have done that, but I don't regret anything because we had a great laugh, and we look back on, we got to play at Watford, Vicarage Road, we played at QPR, we went to Soccer AM, and these things, when you compare it to the likes of what SE Dons are doing and Hashtag and Rebels and getting all these opportunities, we value them so much more than what they do. Do you know what I mean? Because it's almost like a run of, oh, this week you're going to do some stuff with Kevin De Bruyne. or this week you're going to do this, or this. It almost becomes the norm for them because they're almost just as bigger influencers as the players themselves. But for us, it was still a treat. It still meant a lot. So I don't regret anything at all. And I'm glad we had that time. And I look back on it with sort of fond memories as well. And I've got the kits behind me there. I frame them with pride. And up there, I've got my sort of Essex Cup medal as well. And it will never go. And I think this is the thing I want to get across. Is like it ended like beautifully, and we look back on it in a fond way. It's not like there was any fights or disagreements. It's just it had to end because of sort of my circumstances, becoming a dad and just having too much on my plate to be able to produce the content. And people were old and left and moved on, and it just wasn't the same team. So it was time. It was time to hang our boots up, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. So like you say, it's a shame it ended, but like we were having a little chat before we started recording. Like everything obviously comes to an end, doesn't it? And I don't think you did yourselves any wrongdoing either. Like it was class to watch. Some of the lads even benefited out of it. I mean, they got sponsorship deals and all sorts. And like boot deals, is it boot deals? You get some boot deals done or not? Or like
a couple of lads got a couple of goalkeepers got some glove deals and that, but I think when people talk about deals and stuff, they assume there's a lot of money involved.
It's not though.
They get a free pair of gloves, and I think one of the lads got a boot deal. He got a free pair of boots. It's like it's not a huge thing. But like I say, when professionals, they're on like $250,000 a week just by wearing a couple of boots for 90 minutes and stuff. It's completely different for us. So,
that's mad, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, we had some good times, man. It was really good.
But fair play to man, and fair play to obviously getting Smiv up and running and on the roads class, mate. So if anyone, if everyone want to tweet Smiv places to go and you want them to come and go to your home ground, then get involved. So another quick question to end on then, shall we? Like, do you ever get like, have you ever had anyone like a club like message you saying, why did you give us that score? Like, why have you done that? You don't have to name names, like, if you don't want to, but like.
No. I've never had anyone moan. I think it's because essentially it's just my own opinion. It's not like I put that in there. It's like my own opinion. Like I piss people off that are watching. Like it's like, oh, they get really excited for me to go to their club, and when it comes to it, it's like, oh, you shouldn't have gone to this game. Why'd you go to that game? You could have gone to this one. It's like, sorry, like, what do you want me to do? Predict the score and predict the outcome? It's like, no, I can't. I'm just going to go there and rate it on how I see it. And I think people take the rating system far too seriously as well. It's like I'm just rating it. I just want to rank it and see who's best in my opinion on that given day. On another day, it will be completely different. I could have gone to Gillingham another week, and they might have had some good atmosphere, but it weren't to be that week for them, and they're rock bottom of the league, unfortunately. But no clubs ever had a moan. Quick story though, I had a situation at Portsmouth who. With the biggest club, like I had Portsmouth follow me on Twitter. I was like, oh, little verified tick. I was like, oh, Portsmouth just followed me. Didn't think nothing. I just left it. I was like, I wonder why they followed me. A few weeks later, I got a message from them saying, oh, we really want you to come down and do it on the road. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. And they were playing Rochdale. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I paid my way. They were like, oh, we'll give you the tickets. I'm like, no, I'm coming. I want to pay me money, and I'll keep it as authentic as possible. I'm going to make the journey, have a pie, because people telling me to get the pies, and it was all set up to be absolutely brilliant. And I saw the guy that had been messaging me before the game, the media guy, and he was like, oh, is there anything you need? I went, no, just like tell me where my seat is. Like, and he acted as the steward, and he's like, oh, just there, you've got a good seat. I didn't think it was a good seat, to be honest. It was like, you got the Fratton end, and then it was like it was beyond the Fratton end. It was really strange. Yeah. It was freezing cold.
Fratton Park's a shithole as well.
It's not nice, but do you know what? I like those sort of grounds because they're kind of like old school. And you were saying about Old Trafford sort of getting a bit worse for wear. Like, don't worry, like you'd hate to have a new ground, trust me, because it's almost like lifeless. Promise you. Like old grounds, you can't beat 90s old school grounds, and that's what I associate them with. So let's just hope you don't knock it down and get a toilet seat as a ground, because they're not all they're cracked up to be. But so we went Portsmouth, and obviously being invited down and doing the video, and it got to half time, and I went to get a pie. That was the most awful pie I've ever had. If you watch it, it's burnt. It was literally burnt. Wow. Well, that's no good. And that's where it started going downhill for me, because as soon as I bit into the pie, like that was crap. Queues everywhere, and like that's the norm for half time anyway. But anyway, I got back to my seat. I started filming little clips, and I wasn't even filming the game. I think I was filming a floodlight. Literally filming a floodlight, because I like the look of the floodlight. it looked different to other floodlights that I've seen, so I was very happy about it. I wanted to show it off, and it was a nice floodlight. I'm looking up, I'm doing that, and then the steward comes over and went, sorry, you can't film. And I went, what, the floodlight? And he went, no, you just can't film. You're not allowed to film at all. I went, no, I've been invited down by the club. And I showed him an email. And he went, well, I don't know who that is. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, we've had nothing told to us that you're coming down today. And I went, well, could you call this guy? His number was there as well. He went, no, I'm not going to call him. I said, well, why? And he went, because my job is to make sure no one films or make sure everyone's safe. And I went, what am I doing that's not safe? You know, am I endangering anyone? And he was like, no, but you're not allowed to film on the premises, so I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And I went, you're kidding me? Like, so I'll come down from Essex, and I've got an email here. I've got all the messages, and I was showing it. I said, just read it. Give me a second of your time. Read it. And he was like, no, you're going to have to leave. And I'm like, you're kidding me? I said, oh, let me speak to your boss then. So they get this woman over, and she was like, no, sorry, we're not allowing this. You're going to have to leave. And I went, oh, you're kidding me? And then it just so happened like there was a few people around me that actually watched the videos, and they were buzzing for me to be there. It was really good to meet them. Everyone down there, believe me, was nice, but these stewards just had a problem. And they were like, no, he's been invited. You can't chuck him out. And they like, in the end, I was just asked to leave. So I said, lads, don't worry about it. Like, I'm going. They went, are you still going to put the video out? I went, yeah, of course I will. Like, they went, no, we're going to have to delete the footage. I went, yeah, you can't. I'm leaving. Like, I'm gone. See you later. Like, I was gone before they could even grab the camera or anything like that. So, yeah, so I made a half video up until that certain point. And then I got an email from the guy that sort of invited me down. He went, oh, would you mind? Because I've got in at the start. I normally do this thing. If someone watches the videos and they want to be in it, I sort of scan up and I say, go on then, say hello. You want to be in it? Because it's such a fast-paced video, I haven't got time to have conversations with people. I'll talk to them, but for the video purposes, it's like, we've got to crack on. So go on, you're in it, say hello. So that's all he got. And it was, I won't say his name because I don't want to get him in trouble, but Portsmouth Media, he was in the video, done. He went, oh, you don't mind if you take me out of the video? I was just hoping, like, because obviously you went through a bit of controversy that I didn't want to be associated with it. I was like, yeah, no, it's absolutely fine, mate. Don't worry. So I put the video up and everything. It's all gone out. And I haven't heard anything back from him. But now that I look back, I think he was just a fan of the videos, had access to the Twitter, got me down, didn't have a conversation with any security staff. And I think the stewards were probably right. If that's their policy, they're just doing their job. But this guy, I think this guy has just literally just got me down on a whim, and he's done it. Like, fair play. Not actually got me the authorization to film, because normally when I go to like a bigger club, I'm like, I need to get some sort of like pass, and normally they're cool with it. But on this occasion, I just assumed that I'd been invited down to the club, which I had. I do all these messages and stuff, but I don't think it held any weight, unfortunately, looking back. So
that's mental,
yeah,
that, mate.
Portsmouth.
I fucking hate Fratton Park. I went to Portsmouth to watch Coventry. Well, my dad's a Coventry fan. He bought me a ticket and he was like, do you want to watch Cov at Pompey? And I was like, yeah, all right, not been to Pompey. Got there and there was no pies this time. They weren't burned. Dad went to the fucking pie van. No pies. There was nothing. I was sold out of food. It's just gone half time. Like, I was like, you having a laugh? Yeah, it was proper poo. It was not ideal, mate. All right, anything you two want to ask Smith before we leave?
No, I just say it's great. I wish you were around to like film some of my worldies I scored when I used to play like Sunday League.
Mate, whoa, hang on a minute. You are way too overweight to play football now, mate.
I am now, mate. But I mean, back in the day, you know, I'd love that to, you know, to be able to really. The amount of times you talk in the pub like, oh, do you see we got the ball on the edge of the area, you know? So I'm like, oh, be able to go back and watch. I bet all the lads, I just love that every Sunday night, just waiting for the video.
Yeah, that's what I realised at the start. It was things that happened in games. It would always be. All it ever was a conversation down a pub, because you'd always go to the same pub and other teams would use the same pub as well. Everyone would get along anyway, but you'd have this comment, oh, we did this, oh, the goal went out, you should have seen this tackle, rah, rah, rah. But now we didn't have to even explain it. It's like, oh, watch a video because it's all going to be in there. And people were just like, yeah, let's have a laugh, let's have a watch of this. And that's what it was good for, I think. It sort of made those conversations actual reality. You talk about it, but then it's like, oh, hang on, I've got it. Check this goal out. And people were buzzing every time they scored a goal, and they'd share out the clips on their YouTube, on their Twitters and stuff. They'd be buzzing. They were like, it was like the closest thing to becoming a professional footballer for them anyway.
Yeah.
You're not going to make it, but in footballing terms anyway. But like, this was a nice little lifeline for them. It was really cool. So, yeah.
That was good, man. Palmer's FC is legendary, man. It will be around forever, man. It really will. It's class. It was class. and now on Rhodes class as well. So can't really win. By the way, the kids are down here if you can hear them. Mason and Rock. I don't know what they're still up, mate. It's 9 o'clock at night, man.
Far too late.
Oh, mate, I'm gonna go choke them out in a minute, so they're gonna sleep quick, sharp. I'm not, by the way, before social services start ringing me up. I'm not gonna do that.
Rocco.
It's Rocco, mate. Rocco's a pain in the ass. He's not even 2 yet. He's the worst kid. Mason, stop kicking him. John, anything you wanna mention before we leave? John, hello, you sausage, zoning out. Anything you want to cover before we leave or not?
I'm not really know. What do you think about Jose being at Spurs?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Hey, guess what, right? When Mourinho was at Old Trafford, mate, I thought it was absolutely comical at some points. And then he started slagging off players. When he was at Chelsea, I used to find it really funny when he slag his own players off. But when he come and basically called Luke Shaw out for being fat, right? And I thought, oh, that's a bit harsh. What a shit guy. But now he's at Spurs and doing crazy stuff like walking around Chelsea in a Spurs tracksuit, mate. He's brilliant. He's a bit old school, though, isn't he, Mourinho? Like, I think he's not with it anymore, is he?
I think he's. I mean, when he was at Chelsea, I would, if you'd have given me the opportunity to have him as my manager, I would bit your hand off, because he was class. Like, yeah, he pissed people off, but he did it in the right way, I think. But I think now, he's got a screw loose. I really do, and I think it showed. I think it showed at United, big time, and now massively at Spurs as well. He's just like, I think the first few weeks at Spurs, you think, oh, okay, like he seems kind of quite level-headed, but he's really opening up now, and he's really sort of he's saying the wrong things. He's basically written the season off, when actually we do have an opportunity to press on. We've got the injury list up to our arm, but there are players in the background that could play in certain positions, but I don't know, he's very stubborn, and it's annoying. And I don't know if you had it at United, where you had probably certain players that could do the job, and he just wouldn't give them a chance. And it's like,
well, he wrote Rashford, really, and he's like turning our best player. But I think he did a good job. He was saying, didn't he? He was like, oh, getting second here and win Europa League, it was a hard thing to do. And we were like, yeah. But it looks like he did do a good job. I think he.
No. Yeah, that season when we finished second, I know we were 25, 22 points behind City or whatever, but that was a good year for us. Our team, our squad as a whole was absolutely plop, mate. Like, it's still not that great now. Obviously, Fernandes is a shining light at the minute, but
yeah, really good.
Yeah, some of the stuff that Mourinho used to do, like we're like 2-0 down or whatever, bring off Martial and stuff. It's like, mate, what are you doing? Like, stop making crazy decisions. It's like, yeah, and I think that it was after that season we finished second at the start of the season, and that wasn't a great start, was it? I don't think. And then that was sort of the end of it. And the football was atrocious. Like, it wasn't
so negative, wasn't it? Really negative.
So negative. And I get that he didn't have the right players and all that, but Mourinho's only ever a short-term thing, innit? Like, he's never going to be there for 15 years or whatever. Like, he's only going to be there for like 2 to 3 years. And I think even when he's playing for Tongan at left back or right back, isn't he?
I mean, Vertonghen can play left back. He has done quite a few times under Poch as well. So it's there to be done, but you'd rather have him at centre back, to be honest.
Yeah, I just look at Vertonghen and I look at Vertonghen and I don't see left back. Like, you've got players at Spurs that can play left back better than Vertonghen. Like you say, he's a centre. In my eyes, he's a centre half. I mean, but I'm not a Spurs fan, but you know what I mean.
Nah, I mean, when he plays the back three, he can easily play on the left of the three. But yeah, he has played left back as a back four quite a few times. And he can do it, but he's not pacey enough, to be honest, to do it. You'd rather have him at the centre back alongside Toby. But even then, them two, they're getting on a bit. We need some fresh blood in there, to be honest. But yeah, what was it? Mourinho said the other day, I saw an article. My greatest achievement will be finishing fourth with Spurs.
Mad.
Fans over, doesn't he?
A, that's just mad, and B, that's just a little bit disrespectful towards us as well. It's like, yeah, we've got a crap team, so if I can finish fourth, it's like well, he's not doing himself any favours. Like, and it's just because of what he's achieved over the years. I think if anything's going to be his greatest achievement, surely his greatest achievement is going to be winning the Champions League with Porto. Because that's what's going to lead him to grab the Chelsea job. And what he did at Chelsea was fantastic. What he did at Real Madrid was fantastic as well. I mean, even like you say, the team that you had at United, what he did there. But I honestly do believe that we're gonna be the first club that he's not going to win something. I genuinely don't think he's going to. I think everyone assumed when he come, oh, we're going to win a trophy now because it's Mourinho. He wins trophies. I don't think it's that simple. I think we're by far the worst team that he's ever managed. He's definitely showing he's not got the squad depth. He's not got he has got the funds. He will have the funds, but whether he chooses to spend them in the right way and whether Levy lets him spend it in the right way is another question. So it'll be interesting. But I think those two will fall out in time, and he'll go. And we'll live to regret letting Poch go. Unfortunately, I was gutted. Literally wanted to cry that day. Terrible, worst day ever.
Yeah, on my channel, like we're obviously United fans split down the middle of the minute. Ollie in, Ollie out. And all the Ollie outers want Poch. Oh my God! All the Ollie outers want Poch in, and I'm not one of these that wants Pochettino. I'd rather just stick with a manager for a couple of seasons, because I don't think Ollie's doing a terrible job. Do you know what I mean? I think he's doing all right. He's brought the right players in and stuff. But yeah, I don't want to be changing the manager another 2 years into a 3-year contract or whatever and change another manager again. It's just ridiculous. You need to give someone time. But like going back to like Mourinho real quick, like he fell out of our lot because we wouldn't give him the amount of money, and Levy's even worse. He's even tighter than the Glazers. So you know where it's going to go. You know it's going to go south, and Mourinho ended up throwing his toys out the pram and just walking out. Well, where he won't walk out, it'll piss everyone off so much he gets a payout. That's what he does. Because I remember when he like
mutually agreed.
Yeah, mate, he used to walk into press conferences and go basically say, "Well, this club's shit," and everyone's like, "What?" And you can see why now, because he got fucking 12 million quid for losing his job at United. Mental, mate. Mental, mate.
Not a bad holiday, that.
No, it's not, is it?
It's entertaining, but I think his style's a bit outdated and that now. And I think you're right. I don't think he'll win anything with Tottenham. But he come out today, didn't he, and said that there's not going to be a massive overhaul of the squad.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
Come on, Chelsea.
Oh my, Chelsea 2-0 up, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's about should have been 3.
Yeah, I think Mourinho's walked into another job where it needs an overhaul. Like everyone's aging in that Spurs squad, aren't they? And it's the same at United. He's just not. I don't know. Like you said, Nick says it's out. The football's outdated for him. It's very basic nowadays. Where obviously there's a lot of formations that are fluid formations nowadays that literally teams do 2 or 3 in a game. It's mental. I don't think Mourinho's quite grasped that yet, but it is what it is. Hopefully Spurs fail in their pursuit of the top 4 because we struggle like fuck. We missed 8 opportunities this year to get into the top 4 to go past Chelsea and it's just not happened. Like, but we've got you guys in a few weeks, so when we win, I'll be tweeting you, Smith. Don't worry about it.
Please do, mate. I'm sure it's definitely on the card. You're at our ground, aren't you?
Yeah. Away from home.
I think I'll be at that one. One of the very few that I'm going to be at. To be honest, I'm going to go Arsenal, Man United, and West Ham on a Friday night. So they're 3 that I'm definitely going to go to.
Good games to go to, man. Happy days. Right. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. We're over an hour now, I think. So thanks for coming on, Smith. Obviously, find Smith on Twitter and what's your Twitter? Is it just Smith or is it Smivadee?
Smivadee, yeah.
Smivadee, yeah. Anyway, all the links will be in the description anyway that you can find everyone. Nick's at Nick Dennon MEFC, and John is at the OGS Effect, if I don't stand corrected.
Is it?
Duty to Entertain YouTube channel and all that. Anyway, if you did like the video on YouTube, if you did like it, like the video. Subscribe if you're new. If you listened on iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, and Google Podcast now, apparently, which is good. Reviews, please. That'd be nice. Because I've got a few 5 stars on Apple and that now, and followers and that on Spotify, so it's all going well. Again, Smith, thanks for coming on, mate.
That's right, mate. Thank you. Cheers.
You didn't have to come down to the non-league of YouTube to come and talk shit with us, but thanks.
Non-league's where it's at. Trust me, non-league's where it's at.
Well, there you go, mate. Anyway, thanks lads for coming on again as well with the regulars. So, and again, yeah, just like the video, subscribe if you're new, and reviews, boys, reviews. That's what we need. If you did enjoy the content, please do check the videos out to the side of me. Subscribe before you leave, and make sure you check the socials below.